Welcome back to WION World is One. Thank you so much for staying with us. Polls have opened in the high-stakes national elections in Pakistan. Millions of Pakistanis heading to the polls in an election that's been marred by rising terror attacks. And in fact, what we're hearing right now is that in light of the recent surge in terrorist activities, mobile services in Pakistan have been suspended. Now, for more details on this, we're being joined by our Pakistan Bureau Chief, Anas Malik. As you can see, these are the scenes from across Pakistan right now. Polling has begun. We'll shortly be joined by Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik for more on this. Let me just read out the Interior Ministry release that has come out just now. The recent surge in terrorist activities resulting in precious lives have stirred security environment in the country. And in light of the deteriorating security situation and to mitigate potential security threats, need has risen to take measures to safeguard against it. Therefore, it's been decided to temporarily suspend mobile services across the country. Of course, polls have opened in the high-stakes national elections in Pakistan. Millions of Pakistanis head to polls in an election that's been marred by rising terror attacks, an economic crisis, allegations of pre-polling rigging, and a deeply polarized political environment. Over 90,000 polling stations have been established across the country, and security has been ramped up across the South Asian nation. The polls will decide the fate of over 5,100 candidates, out of which only 266 will be elected to the National Assembly, which is the lower house of the Pakistani Parliament. Another 12,000 candidates are also in the fray, competing for seats in the provincial assemblies. Voting will continue till 5 p.m. First unofficial results will start to flow in shortly thereafter. Now, the Pakistan National Assembly consists of 336 seats, out of which 266 are decided through direct voting. 60 seats are reserved for women and 10 for non-Muslims. These seats are allotted to the parties according to their strength in the House. The elected members of the National Assembly vote to select the Prime Minister, and the winning candidate needs a simple majority of 169. The main competitor for the PTI, which has been in disarray, is Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, led by former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. As you know, of course, Imran Khan has been jailed for 14 years on corruption charges and hence is ineligible to contest himself. Moreover, his party's election symbol has also been struck off entirely, and ahead of polls by the country's election commission, most of the PTI leaders are hence running as independents. And just a few minutes ahead of the polls, mobile services were temporarily suspended, and we were unable to connect, in fact, with our Bureau Chief Anas Malik as well, who had been since morning getting us all the ground reports from Pakistan. This has been done in light of the recent surge in terrorist activities resulting in precious lives, and this is a readout from the Interior Ministry of Pakistan. Let me just quote here. Recent surge in the terrorist activities resulting in precious lives has stirred security environment in the country, and in the light of deteriorating security situation and to mitigate the potential security threats, there is a need to take measures to safeguard against it. Therefore, it's been decided to temporarily suspend the mobile services across the country. We were trying to get in touch with our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik, who's been getting us ground reports from Lahore all morning, but in light of the suspension of mobile services across the country, we have been unable to get in touch with him. Well, of course, polling has opened in this high-stakes national election in Pakistan. Let me just give you a little brief about the polls this time. Millions of Pakistanis are headed for the polls. 120 million voters we're talking about in an election that's been marred by rising terror attacks, in fact, an economic crisis, allegations of pre-poll rigging, and, of course, a deeply polarized political environment. If we talk about the setup a little, over 90,000 polling stations have been established across the country. Security has been ramped up in the country as well. Voting will continue till 5 in the evening. These polls will decide the fate of over 5,100 candidates. As the voting begins, Pakistan has suspended its mobile services in the country in light of the recent surge of attacks. Now, we also saw the attacks on the candidates' offices in Pakistan on the eve of the elections. And amidst the security challenges in the country, Pakistan has also closed borders with Iran and Afghanistan. However, the chief of the Election Commission did reiterate that they have ensured foolproof security for the voters. And from what we do know right now, that mobile services have been suspended. And we are, in fact, now in touch with our Pakistan Bureau Chief, Anas Malik. Anas, what is happening on ground? Of course, we are hearing this directive from the Interior Ministry of Pakistan that mobile services have been suspended. What does this mean? Are entire mobile services suspended, or we are talking about mobile internet here? What's the mood like on ground?
It's a blanket ban. It's a blanket suspension on the ground. The polling has just begun literally 6 minutes ago. And as voters are heading to the polling stations, they're coming to the surprise of the mobile services not working at all. Majority of the networks, they just don't show any signals on their mobile phones. The polling has just begun. It's early morning here in Pakistan right now. It's 8 a.m. on the dial, and it's considerably colder as well. Therefore, we're seeing, at least for the time being, a low turnout, at least for the time being. I'm in the constituency of from where Nawaz Sharif is contesting, but we're expecting a better voter turnout as the day progresses. Yes.
Right, Anas. In fact, we were trying to get in touch with you earlier as well when we heard of the suspension of mobile services. You are saying as of now there is a low voter turnout. We'd spoken about this earlier as well, Anas. How do you see this impacting the voter turnout throughout the day? Are you optimistic about it?
Well, I mean, it's a bit of a catch-22 situation. Pakistan hasn't seen a mobile internet or a mobile network suspension, a blanket one, in any of the polls in since its independence. Especially, we haven't seen such an event in 2013, in 2018. So it begs to ask this question. One is forced to ask this question: that what has changed now? Why is the suspension there being put in place? That being said, as I said, it's a bit too early to judge with regards to the voter turnout. I think we would be in a better position to assess as the day progresses, as we move towards mid-afternoon. Only then is when we would be able to assess with regards to the voter turnout. Yes.
Absolutely right, Anas. We were talking about the distinctive features of the polls this time around compared to 2018 when you covered them as well. And you're right, this would be one of the distinctive features. What would you say are the other unique features this time, and what is the significance of the polls this time around with Imran Khan behind bars?
Well, it comes at a very polarized environment, that is for sure, at a very politically unstable environment. So the significance of the poll is that whether or not would this lead to political stability, that would eventually lead to economic stability. That's a million-dollar question right now, and I believe everyone would be seeking answers to the same. With that being said, the other important feature is with regards to the security aspect of these polls. The security dynamics are different, and the security aspect going forward is going to probably be dominating these polls that have just begun a short while ago. Yes.